Spouses who married the cool girl, boy from your high school, what are they like now? My sister married the prom king, starting running back from her high school. He got fat, but also is a nice dude who makes a killing running some kind of raw materials company. Doesn't talk about the past at all. My brother married the popular girl. She was homecoming queen, prom queen, on varsity teams, in band, an honor roll student, beautiful, and super nice. 17-ish years and 2 kids later. She is still a sweetheart, beautiful, and athletic. My high school friend was the cool guy. Everyone liked him. Guys and girls. He never got into fights. Was always instantly invited everywhere and girls totally swooned over him. He's still the same awesome dude. Hasn't changed a bit. He married an incredibly hot nurse. My wife was the hot girl that everyone gossiped about. She's still super hot but is such a wonderful, supportive, loving person. It makes me sad no one took the time to get to really know her when she was young. My dad was super popular. Prom king, valedictorian, class president, football captain, etc. He has a high-ranking but normal role at a smallish to medium-sized company. Pretty normal guy and a good dad. If brought up he will mention his high school years but he doesn't brag. I had 2 kids with a former prom king. He's a crackhead now. I'm an introvert and he's an extrovert. I never knew what to say to him in high school because he was so cool and funny. He intimidated me. Now our differences complement each other, I think, and we're very happy. I didn't marry one, but my husband is friends with a few guys that peaked in high school and they feel the need to relive that shit. Still talking about the championship that got away 20 years ago. My brother was one of the hottest guys in high school and went on to be a model. He's still cool and hot to many, but now he's a bit fat. He's my brother, so ew on the hot part in my opinion. But women still swoon and he's so obnoxious. Think Matt Dillon, etc. era. He got dumped by his model 17 years younger wife for a 26-year-old. He has impossible standards and it's making him miserable. He's into these flashy shallow women. Overall he's doing really well and his business is thriving. She's still the nicest and gorgeous girl I ever met. Nothing changed. She is studying to be a pharmacist. That's something no one would guess. Since she always loved history and her school didn't have biology or chemistry. Edit. We weren't from the same school. But she was one of the most popular girl from the school. Neighborhood and university class. I met her on a graduation we both gave up. Didn't marry her but we dated for a bit. She moved to Arizona for college. Stayed there, then became a firefighter. Came out as gay and married a woman. We lost touch but she seems happy. Mom was the cool girl. Still is. Still literally gets stopped by strangers talking about how cool, pretty, whatever she looks, acts. But divorced. Husband cheated. And widowed. Second husband died. So never really managed to get a happily ever after in romance. I've only seen her as a grown-up, of course. But going by pictures plus what I remember as a kid, she hasn't changed all that much. I think sometimes she's too used to people being in her orbit, and will get sad if something happens where she's not involved. Not overtly so. But you can see she's expecting everyone to always want her there. My brother was the cool guy in high school. Even now, over 20 years later, he has what we call his fans that follow him everywhere. He has this posse built up of a rotating cast of best friends. He'll shine all his star power on his pick of the week, then move on to another one. He's very charismatic, good-looking, life of the party, so it's easy to navigate to him. He married the popular girl and his guy friends' wives are her friends. He can also be selfish, rude, dismissive and condescending. I tend to avoid him mainly because it's always a production with his gaggle of friends always around. Damn, not even any of the cool kids' spouses are on Reddit. Instagram? Husband and I went to different schools in different areas of the state. I guess he was kind of the cool, bad boy of his school. While I did not know him during that time, I can tell you that we have been together for 24 years. And he is the most wonderful husband and father. I think he was grossly misunderstood back then and would love to tell those teachers who basically said he would be nothing off. My best friend was prom king 14 years ago. Now he owns a successful small business. Never had a girlfriend. Never had a boyfriend. Not sure about his sexuality, but he's a kick-ass dude. Proud he calls me a friend as I'm an awkward introvert. I hate to be the one that bursts everyone's bubble. But my husband was the good-looking athletic guy with a great sense of humor that all of the girls adored. I was the petite blue-eyed blonde cheerleader that he chased for all 4 years in high school. We ended up getting together after high school graduation and were engaged 6 months later. I should have kept running from him like I did in school. He's now an addict who is verbally and emotionally abusive. He's a compulsive liar and he's stolen prescription medication from me to get high. He's very jealous and has accused me of having an affair with every male I've ever worked with. All without any merit whatsoever. It got so bad at one point that he told me I needed to quit my job and stay home with my son. Then he criticized me for not having a job. I teach high school English. And he is jealous of my male students because he claims he sees the way they watch me and look at me. He's made my life hell. He criticizes and ridicules me for being a diabetic, saying he never intended to marry a cripple, which is hardly the case. I'm happy to say that he'll be getting served with divorce papers very soon. God help the woman who takes my place because he can't do anything for himself. He's never paid a bill, made his own doctor appointments, etc. He's exhausting. He's also that guy who likes to tell our son what a stud he was in school and how he eventually got the girl he wanted, face vomiting, while dating. He portrayed himself to be the man he thought I would see as husband material. However, I quickly saw it was all an act shortly after we married. If I had it to do over, I would have left the country to avoid him. The only good thing to come out of our marriage is my son. I'm sorry that my story was the nightmare in the bunch. I'm just keeping it real. My mom was the cool girl all through high school, undergrad, grad school, but life didn't go that well. For most of her life, she had to be caring for someone in the family who was ill. And that took a huge toll on her. First it was her dad. Then it was me. I had childhood illnesses. Then her in-laws in quick succession. Then her dad again. And finally she had to nurse my dad until he passed away from a terminal illness. She was meant to be social and have fun. And instead she was forced to be around sickness and sadness for her best years. But she is a very happy and mentally strong person in general who made the best of things. She hosted a lot of people and events. My house growing up was full of people visiting and having fun. She's very charming and easy to talk to. And has a lot of fans all the time. Though, my siblings and I find her social side rather annoying. She isn't like that with us. And she tells us her charming side is just an act. And the real her is the lady who is constantly critical of us, for our own good. She likes having groupies hanging around. People who are happy to take her help and be grateful to her. She has very few friends who could be considered her equals. She also expects a lot from other people and is constantly disappointed. She wants to be the center of everything. She doesn't know to be a guest at anything. She somehow ends up running every event she's invited to. She sincerely believes she's helping. But it's just disrespectful sometimes, and when we tell her that, she doesn't get it. She likes to dominate everything and make decisions for everyone. We joke that if the Prime Minister was her friend, she'd somehow end up running the country for him. My sister, first child, was homecoming queen, prom queen, and head cheerleader. She's been a fundamentalist Christian since then and hasn't talked to me since 2006 because I was finally honest and came out. I'm the youngest and the only boy. I idolized her and Jesus got in the way. My husband was the coolest of his high school. Different HS from mine. I met him a few years later. Hanging with the same friends but now providing for them also. They kept talking about HS years and it was oh so freaking boring. It was very difficult and painful to wean him from them. But here we are 26 years later. People adore him because they see him as larger than life. But always kind. He gives of his time to so many. He's still the coolest wherever he goes.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.